feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Good to be back. I am very sorry about last night. We did a show last night for people who were trying to watch on the replay crew. We actually did one, and we were here for a couple of hours, and we had to remove it. So unfortunately, we had a copyright issue last night. So if you're on the replay crew for yesterday, you would not have seen, you may have got the notification, but you wouldn't have seen a show, which is such a shame because we had fun last night, but weren't able to keep it. We're trying to edit it so you guys can watch it, but it's going to be a little while. It's going to be a little while. Hey, good to see you all. Good to see you out there sitting in the new chair now with my mug. My mug from Sean that we weren't able to show you we did show it last night, but we had to delete it. So yeah, Sean sent in this mug to the PO box. It's really cool. It's got my logo. It's got kept. I've got a mental blank, but Cold Justice. There you go, Cold Justice. One of our thumbnails that we did a while ago for Cold Justice. So very happy with the mug. I've been using it. It normally sits on the desk, but because we've got the giant microphone here, we've moved it over here for now. Moved it over there so it doesn't get knocked and broken. So hey, good to see you guys. Good to see you. Yeah, that was Sean. Sean the sheep, as that's what it said on the package. Sean the sheep. Marjorie, hey, good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Carolina's here. Kim is here. Snap Crackle Pop. Chipmunk. Kathy. Carolina is here. Andrew's here. Who else? Hey, Sasquatch. Good to see you. Who else is here? Mr. Dan Yee made it. Andrew made it. Gayla is here. Betsy made it too. Who else is here? I think that's everyone. Did I get everyone? Did I get you all? I think we did. All right. It's happened again, and I don't understand why this keeps happening, but we had a case of this in the UK, really severe one, and I've told the story a couple of times on the show, but it's happened in America this time. Are you ready to be disturbed? Well, a man has been charged with burglary and sexual acts with livestock. Livestock, that's right. A Kelowna man is charged with burglary and sexual acts with an animal, according to deputies. Henry County deputies responded Sunday to a rural Geneseo for a report of a trespasser inside a livestock building, according to a media release. The caller said they saw a suspicious man inside. Well, yes, I would count this man as suspicious. I think that is a correct terminology. He's been identified as a 64-year-old man called Mark Lasing, and he was arrested and taken to Henry County Jail. He is apparently being held pending formal review on Wednesday. Burglary and attacks on animals. Now, there is not too much more than that available. The reason I wanted to bring it to you is because I find it so strange, this type of offending. And if he offended here while doing a burglary, has he been doing it elsewhere? Yeah, he's been charged with the burglary and the sex crimes, but he's been transported to Henry County Jail where he remains. So right now, it's breaking news. Only happened in the last half a day. He is being held for, well, we all know what it is, but I wanted to bring that to you because we've talked about the one in the UK a couple of times, and the one in the UK was really bad. They had a repeat offender, a guy who kept coming to this farm, and the farmer sort of understood, hey, there's something going on with my animals. Every so often, my animals are like really distressed in the morning. They're not acting right. They're not, you know, they seem unhappy. And they put up a camera and a tripwire. And the next time the guy came to the property to fiddle with the animals, it went off. And they actually got a silent alarm and they saw that it had been tripped. They went down to the field and they caught the guy in the act. So I've told that story a couple of times. And when this one popped up on the when this one popped up on the news wire, I was like, well, I have to tell you about it. Where is Kelowna? I have no idea. I have no idea. Geneseo? I have no idea where Geneseo is either. Where is Geneseo the third? Ah, it is a city in Henry County, Illinois. So we're in Illinois, up north, and it is mostly rural by the looks of it. Mostly rural. Has some city areas between in the actual downtown part. I'll show it to you. So here is Geneseo, and it's got like this is the outline border of the actual place. But when you sort of get out of the 10 blocks or so either way, it's a lot of what Illinois is known for farming land. So a lot of farming land, a lot of rural type farms that you can see on the outskirts of the city. And this is where he was found creeping onto a property, not only to burgle it, but to fiddle with the animals, is the way I'm going to tell you. Anyone, anyone who does that to animals, you have to wonder what else they're doing or what else they're capable of. People who attack and hurt animals in any way, uh, they worry me about where their offending might go. Like where will their offending? Could they hurt humans next? If they pick on creatures who are not able to fully defend themselves, not able to speak out about what happens to them, what could they do elsewhere? What is their mentality? Hey, how do you pronounce it? Genoceo. Genoceo? All right, genoceo. There you go. You love that phrase? Okay. Danny says, "Yep, that's what I was thinking." I want to know: does this guy have a rap sheet? Has look at him. I think we'd all be frightened if we found this man creeping around on our property. He looks like a alternate universe of like you know that guy on Sesame Street. What's the guy that lives in the trash can? He looks like an alternate universe of him. Oscar the Grouch. Oscar the Grouch. This could be Oscar the Grouch in Universe Earth 818. It could be the alternate universe Oscar the Grouch. Uh, you could imagine him popping up from a trash can. So his name is Mark Lasing. Let me see if I can find anything on Mr. Mark. Can we find anything else about him? This is a strange thing to say. Someone posted here. I'll read it to you. 99% of crimes, I'm not going to read the word out of what the crime is when crimes are done against animals in a sexual way, but we all know what the word is. 99% of those type of crimes go unreported by the victim. Sorry, what are you expecting to be done? Are you expecting the cow to pick up a mobile phone and call the police and do a report? I'm very confused about how that would work. 99% of victims go unreported. Okay, who are the 1% that call in? Is it a parrot? Is it a talking parrot? Are they the only ones who call in and report the crimes against them? That's a very strange thing for that person to write. 99% of that word crimes go unreported by the victim. All right, sure. Okay. I mean, the only ones who call in are the talking parrots, apparently. Um, I'm trying to see if he has a history. I'm trying to find out if he has a history or not. I don't see one. No, I don't see one. Although apparently he lives at 93 Willow Haven Court, Kelowna, Illinois. Where is that? Okay. So he lives uptown. They're saying, and I don't have this confirmed, but it is within the same town. This is where he lives. And if we zoom out, it's on the outskirts of town. Because when we looked at that other one, this is sort of the main part of town over here. They're saying he lives out over here, which would make sense that he's not too far away from the farming type places over here. Like there's a whole heap of rural type places for farms. So that would make sense that he's not too far away. Are these all like trailer homes? They're all the same sort of rectangular shape. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, they're all like converted trailer homes. I don't know what the word for it is when they make them like this, but it's basically a trailer home that's been made permanent. I don't know what the word for it is though. Yep, they all look like the same type of thing. So apparently he lives in, I think it's this one here. They saying he lives in this one right here. 92, 93. Okay, it's this one. This orange one. So according to publicly available records, this is where the guy who breaks into farms to do that to animals, he lives over here. So look, he may have moved. No one should be rocking up to that home and doing anything. I don't want to be responsible for anyone rocking up and scaring the people who may live inside right now. Be aware sometimes these records are out of date and they're not correct. So don't be rocking up there with a shotgun or something. SP Mom said the trailer park, trailer trash. I lived in that community once. It was not great. Here's the definition of trailer trash. Yeah, he may be. Although there may be people who are considered that. I don't think they all do the crimes that Mark is accused of. I don't think we can say that about all the people that live in trailer homes. I don't think that's a fair a fair brush to paint them with. All right, there you go. There's your big whack of a story for tonight. But we have more to talk about. I want to take you to. Where is this one? I want to take you to Oklahoma. I'm pretty sure this is Oklahoma. Yeah, it's got to be Oklahoma. Wait. Oh no, Wisconsin. Let me just double check. We can use this so we don't get in trouble. Okay.
New at 4 now, the teacher's aide accused of sexually assaulting a child had her first bond hearing today. 41-year-old Stephanie Jensen appeared in court via Zoom. No official charges have been filed in her case yet, as that investigation is ongoing and the criminal complaint not yet ready. The prosecution noted that messages between Jensen and a male victim were sexual in nature. Prosecutors also said the defendant allegedly groomed the victim for a relationship. The defense noted that this information was not in the probable cause statement and shouldn't have been brought up in court. Her bond was set at $200,000 and she's expected back in court next week.
All right, let me tell you more about this teacher's aide. So she's been charged with having sex with a teen, sending nude photos of herself to him. Here's a photo of Stephanie Jensen. There you go. That is a terrible photo. They're saying here more than a dozen charges were filed Monday against a former teacher assistant who allegedly had sex with a teen and sent those nude videos to him and his friends. She's 41 years old, is scheduled to make a formal initial appearance on Tuesday, which she did do today, and is facing those 13 counts, 4 of them including child enticement, 4 counts of exposing genitals, and 3 counts of sexual intercourse with a child. Her bond was set at $200,000 cash, and they're saying here she met the victim through her work at Faith Lutheran School, and apparently that is a 3K to 8th grade school in Fond du Lac. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And they're saying the principal of that school said Faith Lutheran School has terminated the employment of Stephanie Jensen upon formal charges being filed in court on Monday. Well, you'd hope so. You'd hope that is the case. I mean, you don't want her coming to work, do you? Guys, give me one sec. Sorry about that. I kept getting bitten by something in my shirt, so I was like, had to check it to make sure I wasn't getting, um, yeah, bitten. So there was nothing there. It's just one of those weird feelings where you feel like there's something biting you. Chipmunk said she used a V-shape stencil. I don't know what she did to her eyebrows, but they definitely make her look like some sort of look like. You ever see that show Battlestar Galactica? She looks like she's had her makeup done by someone who worked on that show, and then they decided, "No, it's not done correctly. She can't go on the camera. It is just not right." And that's sort of what happened with the eyebrows. Uh, I don't know what's up with this fashion of women doing this to their faces, but she's only 41, and it's made her look like she is 65. She does not look like her age. They're saying here that a criminal complaint indicated that the victim told police that shortly before his 16th birthday in September of 2024, he had sex with Jensen. He said he remembered it because it had been right before he obtained his driver's license. The victim said he had sex with Jensen several times and that she sent him nude photos via Snapchat. Victim 1 mentioned that Stephanie was not only sending him nude photos, but that she was sending his buddies nude content as well. And they're saying here, as word traveled through his friend group, that she was willing to share, so people he knew would add her to see what she would share with them. So she became known around the school as giving out nude photos to students. That is definitely the people who you want, you know, educating your children, people who are giving out nude photos. I don't think she's a sex ed teacher, so I don't think she should be doing that. And even then, that might be a step too far. Um, they're saying here on November 4, when detectives questioned her, she denied the allegations but reportedly admitted to sending the child nude photos. While trying to arrest her, she refused to get up from her couch, claiming, "I'm not under arrest." I think when the cops tell you when you are under arrest and they want to handcuff you, then you are under arrest. I don't think you can just magic that away and be like, these are not the droids you were looking for. I don't think it works that way. So apparently she's just telling the police what to do. I am not under arrest. Well, the detective who lifted up her arm and handcuffed her thought different. So she's there you go. She's apparently delusional too. It's strange to me that we're seeing so much reporting of females now being um charged with these type of crimes, and I don't know what the correlation or where the crossover happens, and I don't know if it's 24-hour news cycle meets meets more education about males being victims, as well as where 30, 40 years ago it was sort of seen as a rite of passage for a young man to maybe do something like this. I'm not sure where the cross section of where that meets, and it definitely seems like we're seeing a lot more women being arrested for these type of crimes over the last 5 years. A lot more women are popping up in the paper. I read at least one every week. Every week I read at least one where there's a woman, could be 21 to 65, who have been arrested for doing something with a child in their care. I mean, it's a good thing. I think there's a lot of women who may be aged in their 70s and 80s and maybe even long gone now, who maybe did these type of things when they were a teacher in the 70s, 80s, 90s, maybe even the 2000s, and got away with it. I think there are definitely women out there who did these type of things and were never found out, as like I told you, it was seen as a rite of passage for young men to do these type of things. As when now we realize that for what it actually is, it's a crime. Just like if it happened with a young girl, it happens with a young boy, there is no difference. It is the same thing. It's a crime against them. It's a child in their care. That's it. Let me see what else we can find about Stephanie Jensen. Let's have a look. Yeah. Do we have any more details about her and what she's done? Yeah, let me pause that. So she was officially charged following an alleged sexual relationship with an underage boy. On November 4, a detective spoke with the victim who claimed Jensen and he had sexual intercourse multiple times. The victim reportedly told authorities that the two exchanged photos. Does that mean she has what's the way I can say it? Well, you guys know what it is. If it's a child sending it, would she be in possession of the child version of corn? So I don't know, but that could be an additional charge for her. They say the victim said he would get a message from Jensen asking him to come over and then they would have sex. The authorities ended up looking at the victim's phone and found GPS data showing the victim going to the defendant's home before leaving. In the complaint, it says the victim told authorities they first had sexual intercourse back in 2024 before he turned 16. So when he was 15 years old, 15, she was already predating on this child. She would have been what, 39 at the time, 40 or 39 at the time. They're saying authorities end up speaking with Jensen. She denied the claims. She did later admit to getting videos of the victim. It's still a crime, lady. They're saying here she was a teacher's aide and she's charged with, she did get charged with the possession of the corn. So one count possession of corn with a child at the other end of it, and that's a felony up to 25 years in prison. Child enticement, exposing genitals, sexual intercourse with a child enticement, exposing genitals again, sexual intercourse with a child, another charge of child enticement, another one of exposing, another one with sexual intercourse, child enticement, another exposing, and a second degree assault of a child under 16. That one is up to 40 years in prison. That will be your lead charge on all of these. The other ones I think are 25. The last one, the second degree, is up to 40 years in prison. She is cash bond. Yeah, she has a $200,000 cash bond. I doubt she'll be able to pay it. She'll probably stay in custody until her court case concludes. So it's good that we're getting not only the men that do this, but the women out of the school system. We don't want people in there that do this type of thing to children. So it's good work. I don't know. It doesn't say that she has a husband or anything. So maybe she was single. It doesn't say anything here. I don't see anything here about her having a child or anything like that. Let me see what else we can find about her. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. I don't see anything here about her having a family. Yeah, I don't see anything here about her having a family at all. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what else we can find of her. All right, give me 1 minute. All right, sorry about that. Had to cough and I didn't want you guys to hear it. Rachel said she's a predator and should be in prison. I agree. I think, like I said, it's good that we're finding out these people. It's sad that we have to find them after they commit a crime, but apparently that's what we have to. That's what has to happen. Sometimes we don't find out until something bad happens. Um, I would ask the question, if she was so brazen with this particular child, how long has she been a teacher? And has she done it to any other people, any other children in her care? So that's the question I would have. And I wonder if police are looking at that or not, because that would be my next train of thought. They're saying here, yeah, the school terminated her employment and she has been ordered not to contact the victim or any other minors. The court also ordered her to refrain from social media. She was due back in court today. I want to see if she actually went to court today. Hold on. I don't know if she actually went to court today. I don't see a court hearing for today. Maybe it got moved. I am not seeing a update from from today. I don't know why. Yeah, let's have another look. Okay. So they're saying in this other one, teaching assistant flirted with child 12 years old before having sex with teen 12. They're saying here she met the victim when he was 12 and started to become flirty with him when she was working as a teacher's aide. The alleged victim said Jensen knew his age as she taught year 2 at his school when he was in year 8, and that they would bump into each other around the school. He claimed to have sex with Jensen in September of 2024 and said it happened before he turned 16 years old and knew this as he did not have a driver's license. She's alleged to have had sex with him on 4 other occasions when he was 15 up until he was 17. So there you go. I'm just trying to see here. So victim 1 mentioned Stephanie Jensen would not only send him nude pictures, but that she would be sending his buddy nude content as well. Victim 1 says word traveled throughout his friend group that she was willing to share, so people he knew would add her to see what she would give with them. Yep, we read that already. So according to the school, Faith Lutheran School, they terminated her employment upon formal charges being filed in court on Monday. The faculty, staff, and admin at Faith Lutheran are committed to the safety and care of our students, staff, and families and community. They say we pray for all those who are affected by these events as we continue to put our faith and trust in the Lord. So there you go. We'll see what happens with this woman. And we'll see what happens. I don't know what. That's the only sort of update I have. Yeah, flirted is a weird word to use with a child. It's sort of like when some of these predators go to children and they say they came on to me. It's sort of in that same realm. It's sort of in the same sort of bracket when they say they were flirting with a child. Well, you can't flirt with a child because they're too young to sort of give consent. And you're basically committing a crime when you do that. Very similar to when those idiots say the child came on to me, which is not like a thing. It's not possible. Coerced. Well, definitely sounds like there was something like that going on. I'll bring you more on that when I know more about what is going to happen to her. I'm guessing we'll be going to trial, and I'm guessing she is going to try and fight it. I think she will try and say that this never happened, and they all do. They all try it until they get to the end and realize, oh my God, I'm actually going to go to jail for like 20 years. And then they'll plead guilty to get a discount. So we will see about that. All right, I want to take you to a sad story out of Detroit. And if I can get this story to load, I'll take you there. We don't do a lot of stories out of Detroit. I think I've had very few in my time of doing this channel. I think we've only had maybe a handful, even though I'm sure there's a lot of crime that happens in Detroit. Let me see. Hmm. All right. I'm sorry about the white background here. Come on, spinning circle. Let's go. It'll load eventually.
Questions, I should say, have been swirling around a deadly accident inside a postal service facility in Allen Park. Tonight, we're learning more about the employee who lost his life with just a few months to go before he and his fiancee plan to be married. Thanks for being with us. For the News at 6, I'm Kimberly Gill.
And I'm Ty Steele. As we observe Veterans Day, the fiance of a former service member is in mourning. She's speaking out about his life and how it suddenly ended over the weekend. We're talking about a deadly accident inside the U.S. Postal Service Distribution Center in Allen Park on Oakwood Boulevard, right near the Southfield Freeway. Erica Erickson joins us live now. Erica, you spoke with Nick Acker's fiance today.
Yeah, so horrible. Nick Acker's fiance says she was stuck outside this postal facility for roughly 3 hours trying to get answers. And now days later, she says she and his family are still trying to get answers now. Serving 9 years in the Air Force, the fiance of 36-year-old Nick Acker says she never imagined he'd lose his life in such a horrific way here at home. The couple engaged not even 2 weeks before his death.
I had my entire life in my hand, like the entire thing, and gone.
Planning to get married this spring, to go wedding dress shopping next week.
This is a nightmare.
Stephanie Josh says Nick worked the midnight shift as a mechanic at this U.S. Postal Service facility in Allen Park. But last weekend, when he didn't return home and then didn't return her texts or calls, she started to panic.
So I went up there and went to the fence in the intercom, and I was talking to some girl, and I was like, listen, not to sound crazy, but my fiance is missing.
Stephanie says after an hour.
Yeah, I'll pause it there for a minute. Imagine if that was you and your partner didn't come home from work and you're scrambling to try figure out what happened to them. They work in a very secure facility. They work for USPS. Like, where could they possibly go? It's a large factory. This poor guy, Nicholas Aker, 36, found deceased in the USPS mail processing facility in Allen Park. He is believed to have died 6 to 8 hours before his body was found, and that it was only after his fiancee noticed he had not returned home from his shift and contacted authorities. They're saying that they believe his hand and sort of part of his arm got trapped in a large machine which weighs and sorts out parcels. They're saying his death appears to be accidental, but questions around why it took so long to figure out that one, he was so injured and no one raised the alarm, and why no one found him after 8 hours of what sounds like a traumatic and horrific death.
Hour of waiting by the gate.
She tells me he never punched out and they're looking for him. All of a sudden, an ambulance, a fire truck, cop cars are all coming in. No one will let me through the gate. No one will talk to me.
2 hours after that, Stephanie says she was told her fiance, who she describes as sweet, generous, someone who understands her like no one else, was dead.
I dropped to my knees crying and then stood up because the gate was open and I ran through that gate.
What did you find out happened?
But that's the problem. We don't even know for sure. All they know is that he was in a machine, but they don't know how, when, or how long. But the autopsy is going to take 4 to 6 months. We're living a nightmare.
Police say Nick had been dead up to 8 hours before emergency crews got there. USPS previously telling Local 4 they're, quote, deeply saddened by the loss of their employee, adding that, quote, our thoughts and prayers are with his family, and the network distribution center is fully operational at this time.
The mail's still moving. It's gross. A man gone, a veteran, a husband, a human being, and all you can think of is saying his mail keeps moving. Inhumane. It's gross.
A lot of questions right now. We have reached out to state and federal agencies along with the United States Postal Service. We have not yet received a response. We're also looking into allegations that have come out against this facility. We also have not yet received a response regarding that. Meantime, if you would like to donate to Nick's family and his fiance, we have a link to do that at clickondetroit.com.
Yeah, that was from clickondetroit.com, and you can go to that and watch it again on their website under the title listed on this video. How sad. Really awful, especially around this time of year when people that work in mail sorting, courier, USPS, it is like the busiest time of year with the holidays coming up, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas. It is crazy. I don't understand how they didn't find him. I think definitely more questions need to be raised about the facility, what was happening in there. The fact he was dead for almost an entire shift doesn't make sense. And I would like to know more about their sort of processes. Here's a photo of him. There you go. Looking very proud there. He spent 9 years in the Air Force, so he's a vet. They're the people we're supposed to look after, right? The people who help defend our country, serve our countries, and didn't die in battle. He died by being taken into a sorting machine. I don't think that's the way we would envision for our veterans to have to go in this world. It's really awful, especially Monday being Veterans Day. Being Veterans Day this past weekend, and I think it was Monday for you guys, to have this happen right on Veterans Day as well, a day where he should have been celebrated, and people to take a moment to understand the sacrifices that all veterans, all military families go through, and to have this story on that day, which, okay, it's today, or yesterday. How awful. Not the sort of thank you for your service. It's more like, hey, we have to mourn another one of our dead. So, uh, how very, very sad. They're saying federal authorities are, looking into his death, but That is it. Red Call facility. Okay. I'm just going to try find anything else I can about Nicholas and see if we can find out if there's any other reasons or investigations that we can look into. They're saying USPS employee found dead and trapped in conveyor belt system at distribution center. And so he became trapped in a conveyor belt. He was reportedly dead for at least 6 hours before his body was found. Awful, really is. Really, really sad. Hold on, guys. All right. How terrible. So they're saying here that USPS is deeply saddened by the loss of our employee at the Detroit National Distribution Center in Allen Park. And they're saying our thoughts and prayers are with his family. The NDC is fully operational at this time. The victim has been identified as 36-year-old Nicholas John Aker of Trenton, New Jersey. His fiancee and Stephanie, his fiancee's name is Stephanie, criticized the Postal Service's statement, saying it was gross and inhumane. It is a little inhumane. The fact that they're like, oh, dude died, but we're so operational. It's great. They're saying here, she's saying that we want to know what happened and how long he was there. That's what we want to know. We want to know how he even ended up there and why doesn't anyone know where he was at? Yeah, that's a good point. They're saying the couple had only recently just got engaged 10 days before the fatal accident. Terrible. They're saying he was a 9-year veteran of the US Air Force. His funeral is scheduled for Friday, November 14. So they turn off me. Yeah, I think he must have got caught. Like he must have been doing some sort of work and got caught in the machine, or was trying to fix something or grab something and got caught in the conveyor. Maybe terrible. I don't know who turned the machine on. That'll be part of their investigation. Gaylor said, so if it was his arm, he probably bled out. These machines are so powerful. They have so much torque, and if they grab something, it's hard to explain in human words. We in the way we think, we're just like, oh, that can't happen. But these machines are machines. They're not human, and they just keep going. So when you got these things that have like 30,000 pounds of torque, and they will turn you into human spaghetti in 2 seconds, without stopping, without doing anything. If you've ever seen any of those industrial accident videos, you will know like how quick it just goes like that. There's a video. Do not look it up. This is Ping's warning. Do not look it up. There is a video out there of a guy who, I think he gets his shirt trapped in a lathe or a lathe or whatever they call it, and it grabs his shirt and it pulls him in, like all of him, and it's like 2 seconds. It's while it grabs it and then he's gone, and it's just human spaghetti is the word. The only way I can nicely put it. Uh, from alive and standing there to dead in 1 second. So it's brutal. Like manufacturing sort of these giant machines, the deaths can be just. That's why you got to be so careful around these. If you work in a factory with machinery, you got to be so careful. I'm not saying he's at fault, but they are dangerous machines. Carolina said it's usually if it's dangerous, you have arm straps. My dad worked at a manufacturing plant for years. It'll be interesting to know how he got so close to the conveyor belt, because that is what got him apparently, was the conveyor belt. Awful story. You never want to hear these type of stories, especially so close to the holidays and Veterans Day. So Let me see what else we can find about this postal worker. Apparently there's already an obituary online for him. Here's his photo. Nicholas John Aker. And yeah, Stephanie is his fiance. So there's his obituary here. They're saying here they're having a visitation on Thursday, and they're going to have his funeral on Friday at 10:30 a.m. And they're saying internment at Our Lady of Hope Cemetery. And anything else on here about him? A lot of people blessing the family, sending tributes here. A lot of people from his workplace, a lady called Tracy Thorns from DNDC. That is the facility. Yeah, she was the facility director, Tracy Thorns. So she would have known him, probably worked together, being that she's a manager. And yeah, how sad. What a horrible story. Chipmunk said, so sorry for his friends and family. I hope they get the truth. Me too, the truth. I don't know if they will. USPS is such a massive company and they like to sweep things under the rug. Betsy said a dear friend of mine got caught in a conveyor for crushing stone. I hope they were okay. Carolina says, yeah, I don't know what he could have got caught in, but again, another one we'll keep an eye on. But they're saying here it's unclear how he got trapped in that machine. They're saying normally there's safeguards that don't allow you to do that. So there's another. Okay, no, there's not another one. So, come on. There we go. Our internet is working very slow today. It's having a day off for Veterans Day. All right. What else have we got about him? Yeah, that's all I have, unfortunately. But I'll leave you with one more photo of him. So there's another photo. Looks like it was taken recently at Halloween. Let's see here. So apparently no cause of death has been released as of right now on his death investigation. So that'll come at a later point. And he was a mechanic at the postal facility. So he's probably working on the machines. They're saying what? All right. Yeah, people are saying that even if he worked on the machine, it should have been either restricted or powered down while he was working on it. So, Betsy said her friend did not make it. I'm sorry to hear that. This probably is very close to home for you. No, I have not seen the paperwork on that at all. Sorry. While we have a little break, while we were on the air just now, the company who is doing our neon just gave me a prototype to approve, like just as we were on air. That's why I dipped out for a second so I could grab it from them. They just gave me the design for it. Here, you guys want to see it? So this is the design for our neon, and this is what they're making. So I had to give them the final okay, and then they're gonna manufacture it and cut it out and put all the stuff. So it is gonna look really, really cool. And I think it's gonna go right here behind my head, right here. So I can't wait to have this. I think it's gonna look awesome. And I love they said they actually modified the design slightly because it's got a black background, and they said that the black wouldn't do very well with the neon, and they wanted to cut out the black and make it more just the bright colors and have some clear around the edge so it would glow. And I thought, okay, that'll That'll be good. And this is what they came up with. So I can't wait to have this. It's going to look so awesome. It's quite big too. It's about, as you can see, 1 meter by 1 meter. So it's, it's pretty big. It's going to be pretty big on this wall. So I'm glad this company's been great. The company we've been dealing with, for this particular design has done really well. They've been working with me day and night to get it done, and they've been doing all the artistic work on it, and they weren't super expensive. They were, I think I paid 200. It's in US dollars, so it wasn't that much though. Maybe like a couple of $100, and they did all the design work, and it's all custom made. Much better than that place that we looked at that wanted $1,500. They wanted $1,500. This place only, I think it was a couple of $100, something like that. But it's completely custom made. It's not off the shelf. So Carolina said, how is it going to fit behind you? It will. Look, there's a lot of room. Look, my arm. There's quite a bit of room behind this chair. So we had a sign behind there before. Have to make my square bigger? No, I don't think so. Look. Like, it's think we'll look fine. We had a sign up here before. We had one. It broke, unfortunately, and we have to take it down, but it's a shame because Reeby made that and we had it for like a long time. But now we got this one and I can't wait for it to arrive. So it's going to be a couple of weeks. It takes about 3 to 5 days for manufacturing of the sign, and then it's got to be posted. So it's going to take another week or so after that. So a couple of weeks or so to get it here. I Hear Morning says Paul Muffin isn't acknowledged in the signs. It's not his show. Actually, I'll tell you a funny story while we have a break from sad stories. I built the new chair. The new chair is slightly smaller than the old chair, and he wants to come in and sleep on the chair while I'm sitting on it, but he can't because there's no room. This chair is very snug, and I've got armrests like right here, but there's nowhere for him to go. So he's very mad right now. He's mad with Dad. Nights with Muffin and Rory. It should say and Muffin. Maybe one day we'll get some signage for Muffin. We're still working on a cat bed for him. We're looking at putting a cat bed. Sorry, everything's reversed on the screen. This way? No. This way? Here. So where you guys can see this here, we're going to put a cat bed here for Muffin so he can sleep and be on the show. You guys will be able to see him, but he'll be sleeping and snoring and doing what he normally does. Yes, we're looking at doing that. Yeah, we're looking at one. We're trying to find one that's a good size. Muffin's not a small cat, and a lot of the ones that they sell are for like kittens. They're for like little tiny cats. So you got to make sure you get one that can hold the weight of an adult cat. So we are looking for one so he can sleep over here. The thing is, he is neurotic about lights. Anything that has a light or a shadow or is shiny, he will go ballistic. So we don't know how he's going to react to the neon sign. So that'll be interesting. You may see him trying to climb the wall, trying to get to it. Chipmunk says, cats don't forget. You think they moved on. Next thing you know, a piece of something is missing. Yeah, possibly. He's been trying to get in the chair, but he's not been able to yet. He will. He'll figure out a way to get in the chair. Betsy said, I had to go on Amazon and look for cat trees for large cats. Yeah, it's bizarre. I don't understand. It's like they only make ones for kittens. It's really weird. It's like, don't you think adult cats want to have a cat tree? It's really strange. I don't really understand why they only make them for kittens. It's like when I got the scratching post, the big one, most of them are tiny, like a foot, off the ground. That's it. The one we got is huge. It's almost as tall as me. But it was hard to find. I had to search, and it was only like one company who makes it, and it's very strange. I don't understand. It's like people stop buying things for their pets when they're not a kitten, which doesn't make sense to me. All right. What else do we have? All right, let's talk about Melody. So we do have a little bit of a strange update about Melody, and I'm sure a lot of you may have already heard it. So we know that the mum's been arrested, right? We now know why she was arrested. If you don't know why she was arrested, it was to do with a interaction with someone else. That person tried to leave the property after Ashley told them something that apparently the victim says Ashley did not want to tell them. It was something that maybe she shouldn't have said to the person, and then she refused to let them out of the door. So that's the accusation, is that she did not allow them to leave freely, and there was a box cutter involved, and that comes from the LA Times. I will bring it up here for you. Man alleges Melody Buzzard's mum held him captive after disclosing information that she regrets. They're saying Ashley Buzzard, mother of missing girl Melody, was charged with false imprisonment after authorities say she held a man captive in her home. The victim said Buzzard sealed the door with several locks and wielded a box cutter after disclosing sensitive information that she then appeared to regret. Authorities say Buzzard has refused to answer questions about her missing daughter's whereabouts. Um, so the person is Tyler S. Brewer, and they're saying that the unlawful violation of personal liberty was against him. They're saying here that Brewer said in a statement that he came to visit Buzzard at her home to offer assistance in the search for the missing girl, and that the situation quickly escalated. He said Miss Buzzard became visibly distressed after sharing information that she appeared to regret. And they're saying a box cutter was produced, and despite multiple requests to be allowed to exit the home, I was not immediately permitted to leave. He said that Buzzard used several locks to secure the door, and that this temporarily prevented him from leaving. They're saying Brewer, who works as a paralegal in the Central Coast area, said that he is a mandated reporter and contacted authorities. That he says, in that capacity, I immediately reported all concerning communication and inconsistencies directly to law enforcement. He also told, apparently, he spoke on News Nation, that Ashley had told him where and with whom she dropped off Melody, and that although he is not sure whether the information is true, he told the program that he has known Buzzard since 2014 and has been coming to check on her since the news of her daughter's disappearance became public, noting that she has been acting extremely paranoid and he is worried for her well-being. So there you go. He thinks that it's possible that he knows the location, which is, I'm pretty sure, is the Utah, Colorado area, which is why the search has focused onto that area. Um, very strange, very strange. So she's now a friend, someone who was on her side, coming to check on her, who's known her for over 10 years, now decides to keep him hostage in her home behind several locks on the door. Why does she have several locks on the door? Not one, not two, not three, but possibly several. Like you said, she has been very paranoid recently. Paranoid about what? I think that is the aim here. What is she paranoid about? Is she paranoid about Melody? Is she paranoid about authorities? Is she paranoid about the world ending? Is her name Ashley? Is her name Ashley or Lori Vallow? I mean, they're sort of like crossing over in several points here. Not completely, but there are some crossover points about Ashley that work very well with Lori Vallow. The religious thing is missing, but very, very strange. Here, let me grab this other thing about Ashley Buzzard that I saw. I wanted to show you. All right, where are we going? Where are we going? All right, here.
New details tonight. The mother of missing 9-year-old Melody Buzzard has been arrested on unrelated felony charges. 40-year-old Ashley Buzzard is accused of false imprisonment in a case authorities say is not connected to her daughter's disappearance. Melody was last seen on October 9th near the Colorado-Utah border during a road trip. Investigators say Ashley hasn't cooperated in the search. Surveillance footage shows Melody wearing a wig, and authorities are asking the public for tips to help locate her. Right now, Buzzard is behind bars at the Santa Barbara County North Branch Jail, where she is being held on $100,000 bail.
There you go. I think it's going to come to an end very quickly soon. I don't think they're probably that far away from
Right on
figuring
the
out.
cusp of Veterans Day, the U.S. Marines celebrating their 250th.
All right, as much as I like the US Marines as well, don't talk over me, lady on the website. Calm down. Calm down. You'll have your time. Geez, these people on the websites, they're very pushy to talk over you. It's my show, not your show. Uh Yeah, so she's still being held on that 100 grand bail. I don't think she's going to get 100 grand together anytime soon. Yeah, she's got court tomorrow, initial appearance, I think. I don't think she's getting out. I don't think they're going to release her on bond. I mean, I don't think they're going to lower the bond. I think there's most likely what would like to keep her behind bars for as long as possible to keep her out of being in the public. I don't think they want her um, back in the public domain right now. Think they want to find out what happened to Melody. I believe that they're not too far away. I think that the authorities are slowly bridging that gap on how much they know and how much, like, how close of where they know where Melody is. I think every day that gap gets a little bit smaller, and I don't think they're going to be too far away from actually finding out where Melody is. I think we're maybe a few days away. I just have a funny feeling that we're going to get an answer pretty soon. Yeah, so included in these accusations against Ashley, she's also accused of shutting her eyes and making fists, locking the door and preventing this man from leaving. Making a fist. So she was going to punch him. She was going to beat him up. It's very strange to do that to what seems like someone who was trying to help her, someone who had been on her side for close to 10 years. It's a strange behavior. It sounds like this person actually gave a crap about her. Yeah, so he didn't give any further details about where he thinks Melody might be, except to say he suspects that she is in Utah, which would go along with the authorities' information that we've heard somewhere on that border. They're saying, yeah, he also says he's not sure if what Ashley told him was true or not about where Melody is. What? In a criminal complaint against Ashley, she is accused of violating the personal liberty of Brewer. The complaint states that the crime occurred last Thursday and added that the manner in which the crime was carried out indicates planning, sophistication, and professionalism. What? To keep him locked up in the home, it indicates planning, sophistication, and professionalism. Okay. I don't understand how inviting someone in your home and locking the doors behind you is somehow premeditated. That's a weird way of putting it. Yeah, by locking a door, it's a bit odd. It's a strange way of wording that. How does it show professionalism or sophistication? It's not like a Ocean's 11 type crime here. That's not what's going on. That's a bit odd. It's a strange way of saying that. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, Brewer claimed that Ashley has mental health issues, is extremely paranoid, and is a totally different person from when they first met. He said he has grave concerns about Melody's well-being. That's interesting coming from someone who she knows. He said Buzzard kept shutting her eyes and making fists and blocking the door, preventing him from leaving. Then she slammed the front door and engaged 4 locks on the door. He said she eventually let him leave, and he went straight to the authorities to report what had happened. Spooky. Spooky. Yeah, nothing sophisticated that I can see. It's almost like they're talking about what happened with Melody. Melody shows some of those things, but not just keeping him in a home and not letting him leave. It's it's a bit odd. It is strange. I agree. Yeah, he knew her when apart. Yeah, definitely. So sounds like her mental health has deteriorated significantly over the years. Sounds like sounds like she's quite ill. All right. That's the only update I have on that. I am of the opinion that it's not going to be too long now, and we're going to find out where Melody is. At least that is my hope. I want to take you to another story if I can find it. Yep. So we're going to go to Portland, Oregon, which we don't do a lot of things from Portland, Oregon, but I do want to talk to you about this. They're saying in some court documents today, a Beaverton man targeted his ex-girlfriend and the man with a bomb. I shouldn't say that too loud. They're saying, according to court documents, police responded early in the morning on October 6th to a reported explosion and gunshots into a front door of an apartment at 267 North 10th Street. A person living there told police he had opened his front door about 4 a.m. and saw a white man dressed all in black wearing a ski mask in the stairwell. The man said he shut the door, then heard something making a tink, tink, tink sound before the explosion, which sent debris flying into his doorway. Investigators said they also recovered several shell casings from the door. A neighbor told police he saw the suspect leave the area on an e-bike shortly after the explosion, which was confirmed by security footage. A woman later told police that her ex-boyfriend, later identified as 37-year-old Samuel Christian Lund, who owned an e-bike, had been sending her threatening text messages the day before, accusing her of hooking up with a new man. Okay. He seems like a stable individual. Yeah, I'm going to try to see if I can get you anything on Mr. Mr. Lund. Let's see. I can't, but that's okay. We'll keep talking about it. They're saying among the text messages noted in the court documents that Lund allegedly sent, he said, "You bleep, turn around and spit in my face. I'm coming for you. I know where you're at right now. You might as well just bleep come outside. I'll be there shortly." When arrested by police, Lund admitted to sending the text messages, but denied being at the Cornelius apartment the morning of the explosion. However, he also told police he has experience with explosive devices and said he could understand why police would think he is a suspect. Sorry, it's sort of funny. After serving a search warrant, police found explosive destruction devices in his backpack in the garage of his home. According to court documents, the Portland bomb squad searched the devices, or secured them, sorry. He was arraigned on Friday, November 7 on 5 counts of attempted aggravated murder, 4 counts of unlawful use of a weapon, first-degree arson, felony in possession of a firearm, unlawful manufacture of a destructive device, unlawful possession of a destructive device. He's due back in court on November 14. Apparently, he was arrested in 2018. He was arrested for allegedly stabbing another man at Cornelius Fred Meyer. They say court records show the original case, which included a charge for attempted murder, was dismissed. They say the case was later refiled, and court records show he pleaded guilty to second-degree assault. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison with credit for time served. Well, it seems this guy he likes apparently attempting to kill people. Here's a photo of him, if I can get this. Let's put this in another tab. Here is him with no beard. He has no beard. I'm going to show you one where he has facial hair. There is him with a goatee. And they're saying here, he originally tried to kill the first guy at a Fred Meyer or Mayer. There you go. He tried to kill the first guy over here. So for several years, he's been trying to kill people. First, he tried to kill this guy for whatever reason. Then a girl breaks up with him because he is crackers in the head, which seems about right. And he tries to kill her and the new guy too. Seems he has killing on the mind quite a lot. Kaliza said, why do they let these guys out with violent tendencies? I don't know. No idea. Seems like he should have been in jail and kept there. What a absolute nutcase. Alright, hold on. Yeah, what a nutcase this guy is, man. Tried to kill 3 different people in like a year. Let me see if I can find out more about Mr. Lund. Let's go here. So I can understand why the woman broke up with him, because I don't think she wanted to live with that. You know, a guy who would make explosive devices and then try to kill you with them. Sounds like a great guy. Let's see if we can find anything about him. They're saying here he allegedly detonated that device at an apartment after he learned his ex-girlfriend was hooking up with another man. Well, I can understand why she wanted another man. They're saying he heard, yeah, what is the tink, tink, tink noise, I wonder, that the victim heard? Let's see what else we can find about him. Okay. He's currently in a Washington County jail without bond. He's next scheduled to be in court 5 days from now on November 17. He previously served 5 years for that stabbing that we heard outside that Fred Meyer. Fred Meyer? Yeah. Yes, Fred Meyer. He served 5 years for that back in 2018. Wait, if he served 5 years for that, he's only been out of jail for like a year or two. Literally a year or two. Hey, my friend. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Kaliza said maybe a timer went off. Could be like one of those egg timers. Yeah. Yeah, like the Green Goblin in Spider-Man when he throws those things on the floor and they go tink 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 and then they go kaboom. Maybe like the Green Goblin in Spider-Man. He should, yeah. This guy needs to be held behind bars. He got out early on good behavior. Maybe. He was set up for warfare. Yeah. Against a woman who didn't want to see him anymore. Chipmunk said, better not see him again in the news. Well, you'd hope not. You'd hope not. Like a flashbang? Yeah, like a flashbang. Samuel Christian Lund. Let's see if we can find anything else about him. No, that's not it. I was hoping they might have had some video of him, but I can't find anything. You would think this would be a bigger story, but there's like only like two newspapers who have got anything about him. Let's see. What about this one? I do not see anything. No. Let's see. No, even this other website, a local news, Local 12, they don't have anything new either. Yeah, no more about this guy who likes to blow people up. Hey, it's our friend. Hey, it's the guy that likes to apparently cockroaches tell him things. Remember? So last night, if you missed the story last night, we spoke about a guy, here he is right here, who got messages from a cockroach. Encrypted messages were sent to him via cockroach. And they told him to kill his landlord. So, La Cucaracha, apparently they are sending him messages, encrypted ones. So the cockroaches are very, very tech savvy. They seem to know about encryption. Yeah, so we heard about this guy. This guy killed 2 people. He went and shot them. One of them was his landlord. Killed them because the cockroaches told him to. I wish I was joking, but it's so serious. And the guy really did kill them. He also said he heard spooky voices coming from the vents in his home. Spooky voices, apparently. It is one of the craziest things I've ever heard of. Let me see if I can find, if we can, because the last night's show is gone. So now I want to see if we can replay it. Let's see if this one plays or not. It doesn't look like it will.
Is that there were 2 dead men inside. Well, new today is that there were.
Let's see if this will play for you.
And we hadn't seen that yet. The Highlanders of UC Riverside.
That's not it. Yeah, let's see if we can replay it.
Well, new today, the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office is investigating a double homicide in the South Valley. According to a criminal complaint, the suspect says that a cockroach told them to do it. Well, deputies say Alexis Hernandez is now charged with 2 open counts of murder. According to the sheriff's office, they were called to a home near Rio Bravo and Isleta last night after reports of gunfire. When they arrived, Hernandez reportedly answered the door armed with a gun, and they say he was also wearing a Marine saber, a sword, on his hip. According to the police report, Hernandez told deputies that there were 2 dead men inside. There were also 2 unharmed children there. Hernandez reportedly told deputies cockroaches sent him a message yesterday. He is now charged with 2 counts of homicide.
There you go. The guy who apparently takes instruction from cockroaches. It was for one of the news clips that we used. One of the news clips that we used for Joanna Brown got us into trouble. You've been laughing your head off? Okay. You couldn't say that with a straight face? All right. Mental health programs are heavily needed, while unless he has been smoking the crystal, which could be possible. Maybe he's been smoking the crack. He could have been smoking the crack too. Yeah, so in the criminal complaint, Hernandez admitted to shooting both the men, saying he had to do what he had to do. And he said that his landlord, Hector Rios, was stalking him with a camera in the lights, and that he heard creepy voices coming from the vents of the home. He also said cockroaches sent him encrypted messages telling him to kill Hector. Those cockroaches, man, they're always telling you to kill people. That's why you should never listen to them. Never strike up a conversation with a cockroach. They'll tell you to do all sorts of things. Gala said, looks like he partakes in sharing drugs with his cockroaches. He does. La cucaracha. It's one of the craziest stories I've ever heard of. A guy who reckons the cockroaches told him to go kill his landlord. You can't make this stuff up. You really couldn't. If you had asked me, Ping, what is the craziest story you've heard in true crime? And you asked me to make up a story that I've never heard of before, it wouldn't be cockroaches sending encrypted messages telling people to go off and kill their landlord. That is something that Stephen King couldn't even come up with. The cockroaches. He needs insect repellent? Yeah. Don't be letting those cockroaches tell you what to do. Let's see. I wish there was more to tell you. That's a very small story in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and there is no more sort of media about it. It's very little media. Yeah, two men found dead in home. Suspect tells police cockroach told him to do it. It's very funny. It's very funny if it wasn't so serious where two people had died. Yeah. Yeah, New Mexico man accused of killing two victims tells police a cockroach told him to do it. I want to know more about the encrypted messages and how they do that. Do they tell you telepathically? Do they speak to you? Do they speak cockroach? Like, how does it work? Do you plug it into a computer? Do you put it in a USB drive in the computer? Is that how it works? You get the cockroach and you put him in the USB drive. Maybe that's how it works. Yeah, there he is. There's his photo. You know, in prison, if they see any cockroaches in the prison, they're going to keep him away from them. They're going to be like, keep him away from the cockroaches. They might be sending him messages to kill other people. We got to keep him away. Give him all the cans of Raid. Put like bug bombs in his cell. Everything. Keep the cockroaches away from this guy. They might be sending him encrypted messages. Betsy said, you have to just laugh. Things are getting worse. They are if now the cockroaches are taking over. Apparently now they're the ones calling the shot. It isn't the cartel. It's not the cartel. It's not the Sinaloa cartel. It's the cockroaches. Apparently they're the ones who are calling the shots about how to kill people now. So don't you worry about the the Sinaloa cartel, or what is it, the CJ or whatever they're called. It's not them either. Chipmunk says they leave butt pellets that spell out their messages. More food. Maybe. I don't know. I've never seen it. You have to ask that guy. He'll know. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can find anything else about him. Here we go.
In Albuquerque, Bernalillo Paseo County Sheriff's deputies are investigating a double homicide from Friday night in the South Valley. They tell us 2 men were found dead with gunshot wounds inside a house on Entrada Bonita Street. Deputies say 3 adults and 2 young kids were inside. The 3 adults were questioned and the children were safely removed from the home. Right now, one suspect, who is Alexis Najera Hernandez, has been charged with 2 counts of murder.
Yeah, I forgot about this bit. They say Hernandez was taken to a BCSO substation where he was read his rights and agreed to speak with detectives. He said he'd been hearing voices and getting signs that he should kill Hector, the owner of his property, and later said he'd also gotten a message from a cockroach telling him to kill Hector. According to the documents, after being taken into a back room by Hector and the other victim, they said he shot them both, then went to his car to reload his weapon, then went back and shot their bodies again. He said, apparently he'd been hearing voices and getting signs everywhere. Apparently getting signs that he should kill Hector. Poor Hector. He's worried about having a girl's name? Maybe. Hey, I'm glad your husband's doing better. That's good news. Good news, Slavi. Yeah, there was children and other adults in the property, but he only killed those 2 people and said that the signs that he'd been getting told him not to hurt the children. So apparently he was only told to kill Hector and Yorcies, Jorge. Is it Jorge? So Jorge and Hector, they were the only ones who had to die. The children and the other people, they were okay. They didn't have to die. They, according to the overlord, the cockroach. Yeah, there was other adults in the home as well. 3 other adults were in the home and 2 young children. And those other people were not hurt, so they're okay. All right. So I think that's it for tonight, guys. I'm gonna just check something. Yeah, unfortunately, we spent a lot of time last night trying to fix the copyright issue, and it took up hours and hours of my time to the point where we were unable to fix it. We basically had to basically just had to delete it. So I'm sorry that you guys didn't get to see the show last night. If I can cut out the offending video, I will do that and then re-upload last night's show for everyone. So if you missed it, you'll be able to see it. If you want to see the place, I'll have a look. Yeah, it's in the 1400 block of this area. Nope, that's not it. So the homes down here are not that bad. Like they're pretty big. Look. Most of them are family-sized homes. Some of them are even bigger. Yeah, let's see. Can we get how big the property was? 1400. So they don't give us an actual sort of place. They just say the 1400 block. So the 1400 block is this one here with obviously 1400 in it. So one of these homes, they're all pretty big. Like they're not tiny anyway. That's a 3400, but there you go. The trailer home. Some of them are trailer homes, some of them are freestanding type of properties. So a place called Joe's Transmissions. There you go. Joe's Transmissions. So there you go. Pretty big. That's the block of where it took place in New Mexico. No other details about which house it was. Carolina said, I saw it. Not sure what the problem with. Yeah, it was a video we played. Gayla said it looked alright from the view at the gates. Yeah, it didn't look too bad. Let me see if I can find... Okay, where did they say? Okay. So it's the place with the does that say 1421? 1421. So 1421. 1421 here. Hey, there it is. There's the sign that we saw. All right. There's the same place. Is it that one or the one next door? Yeah, it looks like it's that one. So this is the property here. It's quite a large property. So there's the gate that they had open on that photo. So that's the one with the crime scene tape across it. So yeah, it's a pretty big home. Look. So it's got multiple structures in it too. So there you go. That's the property right there. The same one that that we saw in the other photo. So yeah, it's pretty large property. I mean, don't know why that matters, but it looks like it has multiple rooms in the property. So if that's what you were wondering. So there you go. You can see the crime scene tape there. Right next to his head is that gate that I showed you. Yeah, let's go back here. So there's the top-down view of that property. It's got like a little outhouse or something out the back there, and there's the main section of the property. So it's a pretty big property. It's not tiny. So quite no, it's at least 3 or 4 bedrooms. It's a pretty big home. Yeah, Darby. Yeah, hopefully your anxiety gets better, my friend. I hope so. All right, it is almost 6:15 here at night. Very late night tonight. I hope to go back to the early shows eventually. I keep saying it, but the plan is actually to go back to doing the early shows. We've just sort of got to get our butt into gear and actually do it properly, because we'd like to go back to doing those throughout the summer. That's the idea, is that we do the early show, and if we have time to do the late show, we'll also do a late show as well. But the main show is the early one. That is sort of the idea. All right. Hey, I love you all very much. Thank you to the people who support this channel, the people who send in super chats and donations to the PayPal and things like that. I love you all. I hope you like the new neon. That'll be really cool. I can't wait to have that. Those artists did a great job making this for our channel. It's going to look so cool behind me here. Can't wait to have it. And I'll see you all tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow for another, maybe 2 shows tomorrow. If we can get our butt in gear, I'll have 2 shows tomorrow. All right. Love you all. Good night. Be good out there. Bye.